Hey guys, today I'm going to do a study on Exodus chapter 1, which is the fourth chapter of Exodus, so starting a new book. So let's get into it. These are the names of the sons of Israel who came to Egypt with Jacob. Each came with his family. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, and Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. The total number of Jacob's descendants was 70. Joseph was already in Egypt. Joseph and all his brothers and all that generation eventually died. But the Israelites were fruitful, increased rapidly, multiplied, and became extremely numerous so that the land was filled with them. So, so Joseph and his brothers and all that generation eventually died. So, this takes place after Joseph and his brothers all died after this generation died. But the Israelites were fruitful, increased rapidly, multiplied, and became extremely numerous, so the land was filled with them. Because God said, like previously in Genesis, that He will like make them numerous and stuff like that. I don't know if there's something like Sunon that says that He will make them numerous in late Genesis, but yeah, you probably already know that God said they will be numerous in the land of Egypt and that they will be blessed and stuff like that. So, and that's what we see happening, that they all became extremely numerous, so the land was filled with them. A new king who did not know about Joseph came to power in Egypt. He said to his people, "Look, the Israelite people are more numerous and powerful than we are. Come, let's deal shrewdly with them, otherwise they will multiply further. And when war breaks out, they will join our enemies, fight against us, and leave the country." So, a new king or pharaoh, so who did not know anything about Joseph, because the last pharaoh, because Joseph was favorable to the last pharaoh, was like looked at the people of the Israelites and like was like kind of scared and like envious of them because like look at them, they're more numerous and powerful than we are. Like if anything happens, they might betray us and then we will like lose. So fight against us and leave the country. So the Egyptians assigned taskmasters over the Israelites to oppress them with forced labor. They built Pithom and Ramsey as supply cities for Pharaoh. But the more they pressed them, the more they multiplied and spread, so the Egyptians came to dread the Israelites. So they were trying to impress them, but the more they pressed them, they multiplied, and then the Egyptians were like started really getting afraid of the Israelites because there's so many of them and they're so powerful. They warned the Israelites ruthlessly and made their lives bitter with difficult labor and bread and more than all kinds of field work. They ruthlessly imposed all this water on them. So, back during Genesis, when Abraham's time, I forget exactly where it's at, but this is probably gonna take a while because it's been a long time. Okay, I'm just gonna start from the beginning of Abram and just go from there. So there. Oh, yes. Then the Lord said to Abram, No, this for certain. Your offspring will be resident aliens for 400 years in a land that does not belong to them and will be a slave and oppressed. However, will judge the nation they serve, and afterwards they will go out with many possessions. So the Lord Knights knew about this, so we start to see the oppression and the enslaving of the Egyptians in a land that does not belong to them. You start to see that in Exodus. And made their lives bitter with difficult labor and bread and water and all kinds of fear war. They ruthlessly imposed all this war on them. The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, the first, whose name was Shiphrah, and the second, whose name was Puah, when you help the Hebrew woman give birth, exalt them as a deliverer. The child is a son, kill him, but if it's a daughter, she may live. The midwives, however, feared God and did not do as the king of Egypt had told them. They let the boys live. So the king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives that when the Hebrew woman gives birth, kill the son. But if it's daughter, don't kill her because the sons are more threatening, because the sons will become strong men and they don't want anyone to overthrow them, so they want less men. But the midwives feared God and did not do as the king of Egypt told them and let the boys live. Because they had the fear of God in them and they didn't want to kill God's people. So the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and asked them, "Why have you done this and let the boys live?" So he's like, "Why didn't you follow my orders?" The midwives said to Pharaoh, "The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women, for they are vigorous and give birth before the midwives can get to them." So the midwives just lied and to make it seem that the Hebrew women are just built different and that they can give birth without the midwives. So God was good to the midwives and people multiplying became very numerous. But since the midwives did not kill the boys, God saw that and he was good to them. And the people multiplying became very numerous, so that he's still blessing the Hebrew people, making them numerous. Since the midwives feared God, he gave them families. So the midwives feared God, and he blessed them with families. Pharaoh then commanded all his people, "You must throw every son born to the Hebrews into the Nile, but let every daughter live." So then Pharaoh, since the midwives didn't do it, he commanded all his people, throw every Hebrew boy into every Hebrew boy baby into the Nile to kill them. And and that's the end of this one. So yeah, we this is a study of Exodus chapter 1, and we see the beginning of the oppression and the slavery of Egypt doing upon the Hebrew people. But God was still blessing them and making them numerous, which made the Egyptians really scared of them. And yeah. So if I said anything wrong, please correct me. And if you like this video, like it. And if you think it was if you think I'm doing something good, subscribe, and I'll see you the next day if the Lord wills. Bye.